Exactly. It's really, really a fun ride. I think the audience is gonna really love this film. It has all these twists in terms, of course, people have seen things where you have to make deals with the devil, but I think writer, actor, and director Shane Woodson really put in some really amazing new twists to that genre, where you make a deal with the devil and it's also a horror film and all of that. So I think everybody will be in for a really nice surprise.
And Shane, your character JJ, he's almost feels like a man that sort of, dare I say, he's sort of lost in sort of some senses, but he is maybe, as JC would say, 99 problems, and it almost feels like this guy has sort of 99 problems. He's bagged down in his own ways, his own conscience, and feels like a good pun, the world is definitely on his shoulders.
Yeah, well, he'll do anything to get out of hell. He doesn't like it there. So he has no choice but to take a deal with the devil. And it's actually the sequel to 8 Days to Hell. So we're going backwards. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the plan for the franchise. But each task is a little different. He never knows what curveball is going to be thrown next. And when I was writing the screenplay, it shocked me, the ending. It just kind of wrote itself. So it's a nice surprise ending that I wasn't expecting myself when I wrote it.
Yeah, and Denise, how was your involvement in the project? How did it come about that you got roped into playing Charlotte, dare I say?
Oh, well, I did the typical classic thing where I did a self-tape. Shane also cast the film. So I guess he sent in, typically you get an email through from your manager, did a self-tape. And then I actually went in person. Actually, what am I talking about? Sorry. I went in person for this audition. And then that's how I got involved with the project. Then I met the team. I met the team, met Shane, and then the rest is history. That's pretty much how it started.
And Shane, we know in terms of action movies, Mike Ferguson is really well known in terms of that. Did you reach out to Mike, or how did you get involved, Mike, to get involved with this project? Or is he a personal acquaintance that you might have worked with in the past?
Yeah, I worked with him on a movie called Stat Codes. We worked on that, and I thought he would be a good fit for the role that he played, Leroy. So I kind of tailor made the part for him, and he did a great job.
Yeah. And I suppose, Danielle, this was our sort of filmed
Denise,
in not Denise, probably.
yes,
Apologies, looking at this.
no worries.
Denise, this movie was filmed in Los Angeles. Was it a long shoot? Was it a long production in terms of from start to finish, or what was it sort of like in terms of shooting this from start to wrap?
I don't think it wasn't long for me because when I like being on set is my happy place. Whenever I'm on set, it's the place that I want to be more than anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter. Like long hours, of course, you're gonna have long hours. It's an indie film, and everybody has to buckle down and kind of, put in the work. So I would say it was about 12 or 14 days of shooting. I can't remember. Shane will probably answer that more accurately. But yeah, being on set makes me happy. So it didn't feel like long and arduous at all. It was just a beautiful process. I can always take my script, go over lines, go over my character. There's always something to do. So I absolutely enjoyed the process. Whatever set I'm on, it's my happy place.
Okay, good to know. And Shane, in terms of having so many sort of different characters in this movie with sort of different backstories, in terms of putting it all the little pieces of the jigsaw together, did they all sort of blend nice, or did you feel at times that you were trying to fit in one piece and fitting another piece, or was it a smooth sort of a sail for you?
I spend a lot of time in pre-production with any film that I direct. So on this film, we actually I rehearsed my actors for 1 month prior to filming, so everyone was very comfortable with their scenes and what I was looking for. So by the time we got to day one of filming, myself included, because I play the lead, everyone was well rehearsed. It was a well-oiled machine. So we were able to shoot very efficiently, not blow takes. And my happiness on this film was when I was acting because we have a wonderful cast. And when I was acting, I had a lot of fun. Everything was organized, so we really didn't have any issues. That's my thing is organization, preparation, and having everyone on point.
Yeah. And Denise, can you tell us a bit more about your character Charlotte and how does she come across JJ?
Well, I love Charlotte. She's one of my favorite characters I've ever played. She just popped off the page for me, and I immediately connected with her. She's a sex worker. She is a pretty good person in spite of everything that life has thrown to her. Shane wrote an extremely dynamic, fun, and also, really, really strong character. She's been through a lot in life, and she's unapologetically, sweet and strong at the end. In spite of everything she's been through, she's still not a bad person. And that's why when that whole situation with the devil comes in and what she ends up having to do something that's out of character for her, she still is able to do it with dignity and with goodness in it. It wasn't like just an act of terrible crazy revenge. It was connected to something. So I really like that. I
And
really
she,
enjoyed.
yeah. Very good. And Shane, in terms of the movie as well, in terms of sequences from start to finish, I know there's a good lot of dialogue in this movie. Is there a lot of stunt scenes as well? And are you sort of put through your own paces, dare I say, JJ, throughout this movie in terms of the stunts and the choreography that you have to do?
Oh yeah, there was we had some fight sequences, and I ride a motorcycle in the movie, and I love motorcycles. I've ridden them for many years, so I wanted to incorporate that into the story, into my character, and yeah, it's kind of it's a roller coaster. We've got a mixture of action, fantasy with the devil in hell and so many twists and turns. So I wanted to put as much action and excitement into the story as possible and keep the pace. It's a fast pace. So the movie's an hour and a half long, but it goes by in a flash. And at the end, you want to watch it again and again because it's very fast paced.
Yeah. And Denise, in terms of playing did you do an awful lot of this sort of street work, or dare I say, did you research into that? Had you played sort of previous roles, or did you bring your own sort of dynamic and were you able to improvise, dare I say, and use a bit of improv, or maybe put some of your own ideas and touches to refine Charlotte?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every character has a little piece of you in it. And also I was very well researched. I researched the issue of sex work deeply. I researched the issue of sexual abuse. I researched the issue of physical abuse, all of that stuff, all of the things that make her a very complex and dynamic character, I really dove into. So, yeah, you have to bring a little bit of yourself and a little bit of your own experiences. I don't consider myself a method actor. I consider myself more of a well researched, like deep, that's how I connect with the character. So, I hope I answered your question. It was a combination of a lot of research and a little bit of bringing a little bit of myself into it and my whole understanding of the world and that kind of world.
Yeah, and Shane, in terms of starting off, we mentioned this is an indie sort of film, an indie sort of production, and for so many indie films to go sort of nationwide or is such a big thing, but to go to international level is sort of a rare sort of a feat in one sense, and it almost feels that your baby, dare I say, your project that you've worked on to be seen by audiences outside the United States, that must be a really sort of a real feel good factor.
Yes. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that question again? I didn't
No,
catch
my
the.
question for you, Shane, was in terms of an indie film, we know it's very important to conquer the nationwide market throughout the States, but it's only very rare that few movies go past that, go international and get to see by audiences and English speaking audiences outside the United States. So is that something you feel blessed about that people maybe in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, other English speaking countries that might get to witness this movie?
Oh yes, yes, that's important to me. The story kind of has a universal language to it, the way it was filmed. I I made sure that, you when you watch this movie, you can watch it on mute. You not even hear the spoken word, and you can follow it quite well and be entertained. And I always incorporate that style into anything I direct, almost like the silent film way of directing. Because if you tell your story correctly with the pictures, then you don't need the spoken words. So by the time I got done with the edit of the movie, I felt that that had been accomplished, and I want the whole world to see the movie. That's the excitement and the point of making a good independent film is you want as many people as possible to enjoy the craft.
Yeah. And I suppose, Denise, when you play in a movie where there's always these talks and maybe future plans for future revivals of a series, that must be sort of exciting because obviously every actress sort of wants work and every actress wants work opportunities and be pitched into this universe already and must and get a feel for it. It might be something that you might get to explore again in the near future.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, I knew it was a franchise going in. Doing my research, I watched the other films that Shane had made that's related to this whole story. So, of course, I was like, oh my God, when's there going to be 5 days to hell, 6 days to hell? So, of course, that's something that I definitely thought about. And of course, working with Shane was really a tremendous experience. And who wouldn't want to work with them? So,
Yeah.
if we get to do it over and over and over and over, that's a yes for me.
And I suppose, Shane, in terms of bringing a sort of franchise throughout the years, throughout the decades, and we sometimes, to keep it fresh is very important because the worst thing is overkill, dare I say, in terms of a franchise. We think of dare I say, Too Fast, Too Furious, where there's so many sort of done with Vin Diesel and The Rock, to say a lifetime. So, how important is it for you to really reinvent the wheel, reinvent the concept each time?
Yeah, there's so many remakes out there, and there's so many things that are direct derivatives of stuff we know so well. So I always make sure when I write a screenplay that it's very original, it's very different, and I spend a lot of time in the creative process to accomplish that because the last thing I want to create or the last thing I want to see as an audience member is something that I've seen before. It's rather boring, and I think it's why we've lost a lot of audience members because people get tired of seeing the same old things over and over and over again. That's why I love independent film. Some of the best movies, going back to Easy Rider, going back to Night of the Living Dead, El Mariachi. These are all great indie films that launched um, other movies and gave other filmmakers a chance, confidence to say, hey, maybe I can make my dream come true if these guys did. So to follow in those footsteps. So I would say, you gotta really embrace something different and you kind of put yourself. I put myself into JJ's shoes, literally. I thought, what would I do? What would I do myself in this situation, rather than what I think someone should or shouldn't do? What would I do? So I kind of lived through the character that way as I was writing it.
Okay, fantastic. And we're going to go now for closing remarks, and we're going to start with Denise. Denise, why should all our audience go out and mass stream, go to their cinema theaters to watch 7 Days in Hell, to watch you perform as Charlotte, to watch Shane Woodson as JJ, and the rest of the cast? And when they do, Denise, what's in store for them?
What's in store for you guys if you get to see 7 Days to Hell, which I think you should, is a super fun ride. A lot of times there are so many different subgenres of horror films, but